make sure everything's going good.
Cool. Actually,
Well, it is live.
All right, so start those questions.
Nobody finna be like stupid as you.
We're live.
All right, we are running the first ever Battles End spring kickoff. We got Ryan Fitzgerald, the kicker, here to help us kick it off, man. How you doing?
Good.
Folks, if there's any audio issues, just let us know in the comments. We've got our content guy, Kev, monitoring that. Again, first time with this setup here in the Battles End offices in Tallahassee, Florida. We got a pretty strong program for you guys tonight. We got, who's out there? We got Richie, Malik Benson, DESTYN Hill, Luke Kromenhoek's back there. DESTYN, who's behind you? Oh, Hykeem's back there. And then we got a special alumni guest, JARRIAN Jones, waiting to come on as well. Folks, feel free to throw questions in the chat. We have super chats. So if you want to support FSU athletes, please throw some of that on there, and we will appreciate it quite a bit. That computer's locked, so Kev, just yell questions at me. But Ryan, first I want to start. You've been with this program just as long as anybody in the room. It's kind of you, Mo, Darius. Hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but the last remnants of the class of 2019. And can you just talk about how different is the program now versus the one you walked into?
Complete 180. Just the chemistry of the team, in the past 6 years has changed a lot. The dynamic, the talent level, just the brotherhood. And,
we look at a team that you came into, misses a bowl game. Now you guys are at 13-0. Should have been national champions in a lot of people's opinions. How do y'all keep yourself going where it's like, okay, we've made this great climb. Now we've had the undefeated season, but not get complacent, to realize, like, hey, it's just as hard to have that second 13-win season as to do it the first time?
Yeah, it's just the standard that Coach Norvell preaches every day to us, getting 1% better and being our best every day. So.
And as y'all are getting ready for spring, what is the focus of the spring specifically? Obviously, it's all getting better, but you have 14 practices. What are you trying to focus on for the next 14 practices while you get ready, or to get yourself ready for a big 2024 in the fall?
Yeah, I think all of us, it's just bringing our competition out of each other each and every day. For me personally, just each and every day trying to find something to get better on, try to repeat last season, do better, and help this team the best way I can.
Is there anything you can kind of maybe tease for the fans that are watching this live of something they might see from Ryan Fitzgerald they didn't see last year? Is it more distance? Is it you were damn near perfect last year, so it's kind of hard for them to see much. But what's the most improved element of your game going to be in 2024?
Really shooting for more distance, that, and just getting as many points on the board as possible.
Did we see you hit a couple 60-yarders yesterday? Was that
getting up there?
I saw that.
Getting up there, yeah.
Kev, we got any Ryan-specific questions in the chat?
Going into your last season, you ended up turning one of the better seasons last year as a kicker since Roberto. What was your lowest point, and what turned the lights on for you?
In last season?
Yeah.
I'd say the lowest point was the kick I missed at Wake. Just, I was 10 for 10 at that point and wanted to keep that streak going. But, I'd say just the high point was probably the kick in the ACC championship game just to seal the deal. And so that was really special because that's something that we, me, Darius, Maurice, and J-Dub, all them boys, we all talked about wanting to win a conference title. So doing that was really special.
And I think, showing my age a bit here, but I remember my first semester in college at Florida State going with my mom to the championship game. And at that point, we kind of took playing for and even winning ACC championships for granted, and I've shared this with you, but we didn't do it for 9 years. And this year, getting to sit there with my mom, I'm sure a lot of people in our chat have similar stories. And 9 years later, see us win another one was just so special for the fan base. And it sounds like for y'all, it was equally special. But how much does having that taste of it make y'all hungry to win another ACC title and more?
Yeah, we want it again and we want more. Yeah, exactly like you said, just a taste of success and, trying to build to our standard each and every day with that. And so, yeah, looking forward to another year of doing that and more.
Awesome. Kev, we got any more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan, I've always been a big fan of a fellow soccer player, Thomas County resident. How hard is it to tune out the noise during a big moment?
I think it goes back to just my process, something that I've done 1,000 times leading up to it and just trusting that and knowing that, if I go through the elements of my process, that I'm going to put myself in the best position to be successful.
And folks, we are live on this. Give me 1 second to Kev, one more for him while I bring this back up.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most going to Ireland next year? What do you want to see and do there?
Well, first and foremost, going there for business, we want to win the game, want to dominate, and, it'll be cool too to just, I've never been to Ireland. I don't think hardly any of us ever have, so it's going to be cool to go across the pond and see some cool things.
Right, I appreciate that coverage, folks. Again, this is the Battles In live stream. I'm Max, and we're, again, doing this for the first time, so I've got my questions over there. The computer locked. I apologize for that little journey away from there. But, Ryan, thanks for handling that like a champ. And, yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So thanks for coming by, and
Absolutely.
we'll bring our next guest on. Cool. Richie, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good, man. Again, folks, I'm here with Richie Leonard, offensive guard, a recent transfer from Florida. For those of you that ask questions related to that, I'm not going to ask half of those in there. You know who you are. But feel free to put questions in the live chat. Again, this is the Battles In Spring Kickoff. We are the organization to directly support Florida State athletes and mostly football players. So if you guys want to become a member, we would love to have you. Go to thebattlesin.com. You can super chat here. Lots of ways to get involved and, again, directly support Florida State football players. Richie, you're a brand new Florida State football player, but not new to the rivalry of Florida State. You're not new to the game of football. Just talk about what kind of experience you're able to bring coming to Florida State, but I didn't ask that well at all, folks. Again, we're live. Talk about how the experiences you're able to lean on being in your first spring practice, but also what are kind of the newest things for you that you're having to adjust to at a new program?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going on to my 5th year of college, so like you said, I've played a lot of college ball. I've seen a lot of things in college football, and really just trying to get used to the verbiage they use here. At the end of the day, we're still playing football, playing offensive line. So, there are a lot of things that are similar, but just the different verbiage that they use here.
So grabbing some questions. First one, it looked like on the roster update yesterday, you've gained about 15 pounds. Can you talk about what the Storm strength program being built by Storms is like, and maybe how that's different from ones you've done in the past?
Yeah, definitely. When I got here, when we sat down, it was kind of the conversation that we had was, we want to get you as big as possible while still being able to retain your athleticism. And working with Storms, he's one of the best strength coaches in the country, in my opinion. So he's been able to help out a lot with that this spring.
So you're what, 330 now?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't think we've had a big mauler guard like that in a minute. So for the folks watching, just talk about how quickly you're able to mesh with the offensive line. I saw at practice yesterday, you're already acquainted with the fist bump after every rep, the way y'all kind of reset. But how's it been getting used to that room, getting brought in by them and everything there?
Oh, it's been good, and we got a lot of veterans in that room that have been here for a while. Guys like Darius and Maurice, those type guys that have been in the program this whole time. They're good with helping catch the new guys up to speed on how we do things around here.
Awesome, man. And it's a great question. So other than the people, and everyone talks about how great playing for Norvell and Atkins and all that is, but what made you want to come play for FSU as a program? I mean, were you an FSU fan growing up? Was it just they won 13 games last year and you want to be a part of that, or something else entirely?
Yeah, my decision-making process was I tried to take the emotions out of it, coming from a rival school and make the decision that was best for me, in a multitude of different ways, not just on the field but off the field as well. And I felt like with the type of player I am, I fit well into the offensive system here, and it was a good fit for me.
Awesome, man. Is there anything that sets Tour of Duty apart from other off-season conditioning programs?
Yeah, for sure. It's just the intensity and the attention to detail that they have doing it. You know, it's Coach Norvell always says it's not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it is just as important as what you're doing. So definitely that.
Do you enjoy waking up at 5 a.m. to go do conditioning yet? Is that baked into you?
Yeah, no, I don't think I enjoy the waking up part, but I definitely feel better when it's done. You know.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Folks, yesterday was the first practice, so this is probably one you'll be able to answer better later in spring. But who either, in your opinion, is or do you think will be the toughest D lineman to go against in that room?
It's still hard to say after day one. I just know that room is loaded with a bunch of talented guys, so it's gonna be a fun spring.
Awesome, man. Well, that's another one. No. Cool, man. Well, that's pretty much all we got for you. We appreciate you stopping by again. Richie Leonard, transfer from UF. I did ask you about the jacket, that FSU jacket. It's not his, but we're going to get him one. Fifth-year senior, man, we're excited to see what you do on the field this year. Thanks for coming by.
Appreciate it.
Jada, folks, we have a special guest coming on. We got a fan favorite. If you've watched really any FSU media, you've seen this guy. He's got an amazing personality and has really proven himself to be one of the best cornerbacks headed into the draft this year. We got JARRIAN Jones.
What's up?
How we doing, bro?
How you doing? I'm good.
Doing all right?
What's up?
Do a handshake on camera. Look good. Folks, had to have JARRIAN join us. He's in town for Pro Day. And, I think we've got a whole crew of guys out here who are going through spring practice, getting ready for 2024, but ultimately have their sights set on the NFL. So just as a guy who just went through this process, one season left, and now you're finally playing in the East-West game. You're going to the Combine, getting ready for the draft. Talk about what it's been like in the past year. I mean, just the transformation you've gone through and how you look back on it.
This year has been crazy, but it's been one of the years I remember like for the rest of my life. We went through a lot to get to where we are now. Just being able to do it with the guys I always have done it with. I've been with those guys for 4 years now, and being able to do what we did in that season was special, and doing it with Norvell. I think the world of Norvell. So just being able to just soak it all in and have those experiences with them, I feel like that was the biggest part. And then speaking on the draft, I would think the message would be just trusting the process for real, because at first dealing with Norvell, you kind of think some of the stuff that we doing is kind of like crazy or insane, because I kind of felt like it's military. You feel me? So, but just trusting the process, believing what he's saying, and he probably presented to you in a crazy way, but just trusting the process for real, the biggest thing.
How much did doing that hard stuff last offseason, going from playing in a bowl game and then a week later you're back in tour duty, how much did that prepare you to go from this year, season ends, and then 10 days later you were in Dallas training for the Combine?
I think it kind of keeps you in shape and keeps the main thing. From just playing a game to going to train, I think it kind of didn't give me the time to rest or just let the season die down. It kind of just took me on into my training process. So my process went kind of smooth. I just went right into it.
Yeah. Now, before we take some listener questions again, folks, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll ask J-Dub whatever y'all may want to know. But I'm curious, who do you think? Obviously, we can't fully replace Duda and J-Dub, Renardo Green, JARRIAN Jones, but who are the next couple guys you think are going to have really big years in that room? That's kind of their time.
I definitely feel like this is the year for JARRIAN. And then, Fitzgerald, he's coming back, veteran leader. And he's always, he does what he do. So, I don't really think of it as having to replace. I kind of feel like they kind of reloaded in a sense. So them boys, I definitely feel like they just going to feed off each other. We got that real brotherhood in the DB room, and both of them are special. So I feel like it's time for them to take off.
This is a good question. I think you'll have a good perspective on this. So, obviously, as the team gets more talented, it's really competitive. Some guys are going to win starting jobs. Some guys are going to have, a backup role or whatever it may be. How does the locker room keep that competitive fire going, keep the main thing, but also always build each other up and, not let that become division?
I would think just building that brotherhood outside of football, just being close with each other, going out with each other, just hanging out with each other, just being with each other all the time. I kind of think that was something we had on that, not to speak on a lot about it, with that 2023 team. We were real close, we were a real brotherhood. So I just feel like just having that brotherhood outside of football, just being able to call him your brother outside of y'all being at practice, it's just gonna make it easier at practice to learn from each other.
Who was it a better feeling to beat, Miami or Florida? Got to beat both of them in both stadiums now, so.
Yeah, I don't really like neither one of them for real, but it's always more fun playing Miami. I never really thought Florida was good, but Miami was way more fun though.
Folks, this is why I like it. Until your NFL team tells us we can't, we're going to have it on our program. I love it. Tell me if you can't answer this question, but someone wants to know what NFL team interests you the most. I feel like that's kind of a weird spot to put you in, but let me ask this.
Growing up, I always wanted to play for the Cowboys. Growing up, like I always wanted to play for the Cowboys. Like that's always what my dream was. But you know, like as I've started to understand like what the NFL is and how different teams are set up and all that stuff go, I mean, I wouldn't mind going anywhere for real.
What was that like at the East-West game? Was in the Cowboys practice facility. So how cool was that for like 10-year-old JARRIAN?
Yeah, that was hard. Because I always wanted to see it. Like I ain't never seen them before. So just being in their practice facility, like being everywhere that they, you know what I'm saying, everywhere that they be around. Like I always want to be a Cowboy. Like I always grew up on that Emmitt Smith type 22 jersey. Like he used to get down. So that was hard for me.
Last one for you, man. We talked about it a little bit, but like talk about being at spring practice yesterday. What's it feel like being in street clothes for the first time? And what were kind of your thoughts as you were watching the guys go through drills and team and 7-on and all that?
Nah, I felt weird though, cause like I said, that's what I've been doing like the past 4 years of my life, being out there on the practice field with them boys. So just seeing them boys and I'm not being able to go out there with them boys, it felt different. But you know, I kind of feel like we left the program in good hands. You know, them boys don't come do what they do. I mean, like it ain't no lack of talent. You know, them boys reloaded like I knew Norvell would. So them boys got it. But just watching them boys, it kind of felt funny though, being out there.
Is it crazy when you're not in it, when you're watching it from the sidelines or whatever, just how smooth practice runs now, maybe compared to when you first got here and Norvell had to just teach guys where to go during different periods?
I think the standard is set, and them boys realize Norvell ain't playing. You know, like when he first got there, we won't know you. He won't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't really. So I wouldn't say nobody was like listening, but like it was more like, hey, bro, come on, man, you tripping. You know, so it's kind of like one of them things. But now they know he ain't playing, so now it's kind of like the standard. Like everybody know how we should practice and what it's look like.
I love it, man. Well, hey, from me and everyone that's watching, every member of the Battle's End that supported JARRIAN last year and the team as a whole, good luck in the draft, man. We're excited to see where you go and see what you do at the next level. And you always make FSU proud, man. Thanks for coming by.
Go Noles.
Appreciate it. I'm just going to give you one of these so you can slide out. And I guess, Malik, you're, and then DESTYN will kind of, all right. So, man, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
Hey, Max, good to meet you in person.
Yes,
Sorry, we met over the phone. Folks, again, thanks for tuning in to the Battle's End Spring Football Kickoff. I'm Max, and sitting down with me now, Kev, can you hit that, is Malik Benson. He's one of our transfer wide receivers. Malik, just let's open up, kind of give people your background, your journey that found you at Florida State this offseason.
So before I, transferred from Alabama, coming out of high school, I went JUCO. And, the funniest part about it is just like when I was getting recruited in JUCO, I remember, talking to Coach Norvell, and, he was always telling me, like, you may not want to come to Florida State now, but you'll play for me one day. And so, all things come around, and to see, like, I'm actually playing for him, it was just like, it was crazy that it really happened. That's
funny. So that's the... I guess it's the never-ending cycle of recruitment now. We have the transfer portal. Guys are able to find the best opportunity for them, if that's what makes sense. And here you are. Did he say something to you once you officially committed to Florida State? Did you remember that moment? Or is that something?
He did. We just laughed about it.
That's funny.
Yes, sir.
So talk about, you get here, you go through tour duty for the first time. Obviously, you come from a phenomenal program under Coach Saban at Alabama. But what was tour duty like for you going through it compared to other programs you've gone through at Alabama and JUCO?
For me, having to do like conditioning in the morning time was, for me, it was my biggest, like, what I had to get used to. But, it was just like the little things, like, just when I was at Alabama, we did our conditioning. We never really focused on the little things. It was just more of conditioning. But, here, like, we're doing the conditioning, they were watching film, and you know the jersey thing. I thought that was cool because you know you have about accountability and just seeing like they're looking at every little thing.
Can you walk people through that? I'm not fully familiar with it. When you say the jersey thing, you mean the different colors?
Yeah, the different colored jerseys. So like every colored jersey, it means something different. So if you had like a game, that means you know you were doing really good, and you didn't want to have that orange. I ain't gonna lie. If you had that orange, everybody kind of like told you like get your stuff together. But you know, just the accountability thing. You know, he preaches that, and I can see you know just through the locker room, his everyday life. You know, just with my teammates, like we really hold each other accountable.
And is that? I mean, again, obviously, don't want to compare everything to old programs, but you've been in a high performing program, national champion contender year after year. Does this locker room feel similar to that? I mean, did you get here and go, yeah, this is also a high standard program, like that accountability you talk about?
I'm gonna be real. I like this locker room way better just because the relationships, and you know when I came in, you know everyone they welcomed me with open arms, and it was just like really just cool to see like. I'm coming up, I'm transferring in, I don't really know anybody, but, you know, my locker mates, like, you know, they're like, bro, like, let's go get something to eat. Like, I don't know them, you know, I'm not really trying to come out of my shell, but, you know, they forced me to, and I'm really thankful for that.
Good, man. That's awesome. We have a few questions for you. So, Malik, people talk about your speed, but what's something in your game, in addition to your speed, that you take pride in?
Catching the football. I feel like, you know, you can run the best route and you can get open, but if you cannot catch the ball, then you really did all that for no reason. So I really just take pride in, you know, just doing the extra, getting catches in, and, you know, just I really take pride in no drops. And that's, you know, receivers, you can't have a drop if you're a receiver because you don't know how many times the ball is going to come to you. So you really have to make every chance count.
So what's the area you're most working on in the spring then? So you're fast, great hands, never drop the ball, but what's your main area of improvement that you're going to try to look back on the spring and go, yeah, I'd knock that out?
Line of scrimmage. Just when I get pressed, I feel like that's probably one of my weaknesses right now. So I would say that. Has
it been a transition at all to this program where we ask our receivers to block? I mean, Hykeem and DESTYN will be on here in a second, but, you know, Hykeem's I think, what did you do, Hykeem? You drove a guy into his own bench last year, I think was the clip that went viral. And, you know, there's always the saying, was it no block, no rock? Was that something that was kind of new to you as a receiver? How's that adjustment been?
No, I mean, I would just really take pride in seeing my other teammates eat. So it's, you know, not one job's bigger than any other job. You know, for my teammates to do what they got to do, I got to, you know, block for them, especially, like, just running backs. Like, and like you said, like, no block, no rock, for real, for real.
Awesome, man. Same question that we got for Fitz. What are you most looking forward to doing in Ireland when you're there with the team?
Most looking forward to doing Ireland. Really just like being out there. Like I've never been out of the country like that.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a very like cool experience, and you know, hopefully like Conor McGregor's out there watching the game. You know, we could just, if he's watching us, definitely want to tap in.
Conor, I know you're a big fan of the Battle's End, and you love the shows and everything we do. So, McGregor, just please be at the game. You ever watch rugby at all?
No, not at all.
So Ireland's got a great rugby team. They just won the Six Nations tournament. It's exciting stuff. Documentary on Netflix about it. It's real good.
I'm tuning in.
Yeah, check it out. What's your favorite route to run?
The fade.
The fade?
Yeah. Nah, I'll probably say my favorite route is a post. You know, just something deep. I really just like to show my speed and just really go out there and go get it.
I don't understand that second question, Kev. Folks, yeah, if y'all have any questions, please throw them in the chat. Sorry, I don't understand that one, but I like the route one. Any other ones, Kev? Are we all good? Cool. All right, Malik. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yes, sir.
It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Thank you. Whoever's next, folks. That was Malik Benson, transfer wide receiver on your 2024 Florida State Seminoles. Thank you for tuning in to the Battle's End Spring Football Kickoff. I'm Max, and now I've got wide receiver DESTYN Hill with me right here. And you're double logoed up. You got the Battle's End on the hat.
1, 2.
Ooh, okay. You want
Trying to make sure it works.
So, folks, if you don't know, DESTYN's been working on some music recently. We won't preview it for you just yet, but we got some content coming out around that. Really looking forward to doing that with you. But yeah, man, it's your second spring here in Tallahassee. Last year, you know, folks were really just blown away by what they saw in the offseason. Then you backed it up during the season. But what are you most looking forward to head into this set of spring practices?
I'm really looking forward to just getting better. You know, my game's not complete yet. I'm still growing and maturing in my game. So really just getting better. Really, that's my main focus. Getting better every day, 1%. If that's it. Getting better. You know.
What area of your game are you most dialed in on improving this spring?
You know, I'm a speed receiver, so I'm just trying to, you know, use my speed in and out of breaks and, you know, to change the direction part of it.
Gotcha. Now, so last year, I think, you know, obviously, again, as a freshman, we saw you step up pretty big during the Pitt game. You know, we had Keon and Johnny were both out. It felt like, you know, there was a bit of a slowdown in momentum, and, you know, you had that huge catch running across the middle of the field when we needed it. How did experiences like that last year get you ready to kind of be one of the guys going into this year?
Well, it's funny because Hykeem and them, they laughing at me in the back because that game I was actually hurt. And if I wasn't, I would have scored that, and that's what they used to seeing. So, you know, that's why they're laughing at it right now. But
Hykeem, you agree?
Yeah.
He was
Cool.
Folks, we are live, so we get some fun live moments there. But I agree. It looked like you pulled up a little on that one. But yeah, man, what's
that was the first game back from, you know, my ankle injury. So
Yeah.
you know, and then they had grass, so the cleats was kind of digging in the dirt. So you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got a couple questions again, folks. Drop some questions in the chat. Y'all can throw super chats on there. Everything, you know, supports the Battles End, where we directly support Florida State players. Destin, who's the toughest DB to go against in one-on-ones?
I don't want to be biased, but I'll say Greedy, and you know, a lot of people I think would agree with me, right? See, yeah.
We'll ask him the same question.
I don't want to be biased with it though, but that's what I feel.
And can you talk about we got a new quarterback in the room in DJU. We also got Luke, and, you know, Brock is going into his second year, but obviously Jordan was the primary quarterback last year. So what's that been like transitioning to working with one newish, but two brand new quarterbacks as well?
It gave it a sense of competition. So, you know, you're going to get the best passes every time, and both of them are excellent throwers. So, you know, I love it. So
talk about as a receiver, you know, a guy like DJ comes in who, again, similar to Richie, right? He's got 5 years of football experience. He knows a lot about the game, has played a lot of the game, but not in this system or for this team. So how does that, you know, what things is he able to quickly pick up and, you know, even teach y'all? And, you know, what things do y'all feel like you're still getting used to with someone that hasn't played in this system?
Well, DJ has already been a part of two systems, so I guess he has a routine of how he get this the plays and stuff. So I mean, he don't really mess up too often. So it's just, I guess, you know, he locked in. He know he not immature when it comes to learning. So you know, he got that part down. So the athletic part is automatic. So
yeah. And how important is that for you and a quarterback just to constantly work on the route timings and all of that? Do y'all do extra work outside of practice or whatever you're allowed to do, or how do y'all really build that chemistry? I
mean, DJ, he gonna always text and tell me when he running routes and when he throwing. So I'm gonna take the opportunity because the chemistry is the most important, of course.
Who's the fastest receiver on the team?
Come on, just give him the answer, King. We'll give it to him in the back.
Hello, I'm in an interview right now.
The fastest player on the team is Destin Hill, and numbers don't lie.
GPS numbers will tell us that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who's the funniest player on the team? You can't say yourself.
Keem, who you got? Who you got, Keem?
He'll get his interview. Don't worry.
Who you got, Keem? He said.
Ooh, it's some funny boys on the team.
He said Peter Ward Jr.
I think it's.
He said Peter Ward Jr.
Really?
He is hilarious, though.
Okay.
He a jokester. I give it to him. He a jokester.
Folks, if you want to see some of these guys being hilarious, make sure y'all follow the Instagram, TikTok. We see some funny stuff on there.
No doubt.
Really enjoy that. Destin, can you tell the people about your music?
It's a motivational song. it's like a a amp song that you're gonna listen to before the game. Featuring my dude Lawrence Toafili. I'm just the hold up is his verse, and he always say he coming with it, and that's what we're waiting for, guys. So y'all go follow Lawrence Toafili on Instagram and tell him, and DM him and tell him, come on, we need that verse. Throw it in.
Yeah, because as soon as it's ready, I mean, we're ready to do the music video. We got our content guy, Kev, as y'all know. We're going to make that thing look awesome. So as soon as it's ready, we'll talk about that. We'll see. We'll see. I think for now, you and LT, though, are locked in. Keem, we'll let you know as we develop the track and everything. But Destin, talk to the fans for a second. I mean, what should they be expecting to see out of this offense that's, again, has to replace so many players but has so much talent in it when they come to the spring showcase?
Based on numbers, I don't want to seem biased, but based on numbers, this is a faster team than last year team. And we're going. It's every week the numbers is getting faster and faster. So if you need a witness, you can ask anybody. We just a faster team.
Awesome.
So we got to see how we're gonna put it to work.
That's exciting, man. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for letting the fans throw some questions at you. We will let you get out of here with your evening, but really appreciate you coming by, man.
Thank you.
And I will catch you next time. Folks, again, thank you for stopping into the live stream. We got Hykeem Williams coming up. We got Luke Kromenhoek in the back, and I'm sorry to make you wait till the end, Luke. But, folks, make sure you throw any questions that you may have in the chat right there, and Kevin will make sure they get to me. Kev, just make sure you replace them in the same spot so we don't have to worry about scrolling down. You can delete questions. We're not looking at it anymore. Hykeem Williams, man. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing?
Good to see you, man. Excited to have you here.
Yes, sir. Excited to be here.
So I was out of practice yesterday, and I remember I turned to Amanda and I said, is there a different guy that's named H. Williams? Because from a distance, I didn't recognize you. You look twice the size that you did last year. Man, just let's talk about that for a second. So you go through your second Built by Storms program. How much size have you put on this off season? What's that feeling like?
So I didn't really put on size. So I came in big, but I really just slimmed up and turned that into muscle. That's really what happened. So okay. I just look more linear.
Because we saw you at the squat party video where again Destin was in the background of literally every picture. It was quite impressive. Yeah. And what were you squatting in that?
Was it 425?
Four plate?
435?
435 pounds. That's a Richie Leonard plus Kevin kind of, but there's no one on the team who weighs 100 pounds. Sorry, buddy. That's awesome, man. So when you build that muscle and you go from, again, sort of that high school body where you're naturally just a great athlete to a Built by Storms, strong college athlete, what does that produce in your game? Like, what differences does that, or what does that give you the ability to do differently and better?
So, obviously I love to block. I'm a good blocker. So I'll just say it helps me block better. And it also helps me when I'm running a route or, trying to get away from a DB or get off the line on a DB. I'm bigger and stronger so to where I can use my body and my hands more quickly and faster.
So last year you got to go against a guy who, not being biased, but a lot of folks on the internet who do draft analysis are calling one of the best press corners in the draft right now, Renardo Green. Right. What was that moment like, though? You just got to college, the first time he put hands on you at the line of scrimmage. Was that something you'd ever dealt with before?
Nah, never. And, it only made me better. You know what I'm saying? Man, just being a part of a great team, everybody has no choice but to get better because everyone's good and everyone's making each other better around them. Absolutely,
man. So we got a couple questions. Playing last year in the big game. Like the Duke game. Okay. Yeah, can you just describe the feeling coming in as a freshman, working all off season, and then getting to have some big moments in big games like that third down catch in the Duke game? Right. Obviously you had that screen that you took to the house, which was just incredible. But in those big games, right, like Duke, when we need momentum, got to get the first down. What was that feeling like to do that in Doak Campbell?
It's a great feeling, but it's an amazing feeling, but you don't feel it right then and there though. That's because when you're on the field and you lock in, everything else is zoned out. You only focusing on what's going on the field. So I caught the ball and it's just all right, what's next? What's the next play? I'm trying to get the next play. I'm not too like focused on that first down for real.
And you said you love to block. I referenced earlier the viral clip of you just blocking a dude into his own bench. You know, I think among fans, message board folks, we love all of you. You know, there's this concept of, hey, maybe a 5-star recruit's going to be a bit of a prima donna, right? Not want to roll up his sleeves and do the hardest stuff when he first gets here. But that wasn't the case with you. I mean, again, you like to block. You took to the strength program. What made it so easy for you to go from, again, one of the best players in the country, really highly touted recruit, to like, okay, now it's time. I got to grind here, though. Like, no one cares what my rating was, and I got to prove it. How'd you flip that switch?
Because, I mean, it's totally different ballgame going from high school to college. So you got to have that mentality when you go to college. Like, you're not the best player on the field anymore. You're not the best player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So especially as a freshman, you got to come in like, okay, I got to work to get to be the best player, you know what I'm saying, on the field in college. So that was just my mentality, like coming to college, no, I'm not the best person on the field anymore. Like, everyone's good is good on good every day.
So in that vein, who's the toughest DB to go against on the current team?
I don't know why, but to me, it's JARRIAN. I do not know why. He's probably the toughest DB.
Probably
Since
because
last
he
year,
has
honestly,
freakishly long arms, is
even
real
since
strong,
last
real
year,
fast.
honestly, yeah, facts. I don't know why. It's AZ.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I know folks are real excited to see what he does. And what are people going to be able to see from your game, whether it's the spring showcase or starting next season, that maybe they didn't see a ton of last year?
I've definitely got better route running and just moving quicker, in and out my breaks quicker, and just like being more physical. Like, they're just gonna see everything be more efficient.
Yeah, I hope I'm not giving away state secrets here, but yesterday I saw you block a single man sled, lift it above your head, and throw it completely sideways. So, folks, he's not kidding when he says probably gonna be a little more physical.
Exactly.
See it in the blocking game. Which DB talks the most trash?
Which DB talks the most trash? The quietest. All right, you know what? Let's go from there. The quietest is Fitzgerald, so let's get him out of the way.
Okay.
He's the quietest DB. When it comes to talking the most, it honestly just depends on the day for real. Because you got Edwin, and then you got Quindarius, and then like you got at safety you got Hykeem. He's talking every day you know what? It's Hykeem. I just thought about it. He's talking every day, all day. Good day, bad day, any day. Coach Norvell, because we have the worst day ever.
And he will still
be talking junk, no matter what.
I think it might be on our Instagram. I vividly remember a video of Hykeem saying, you know, I don't really talk that much. I like to just lock in and focus on the game. So,
all right, maybe in the game.
That's an interesting, yeah.
Oh my God, he talks the most. Like, so after practice, you know how everyone goes to their position group and huddle up.
Yeah.
He's the only DB that tries to run through our huddle after every practice. After every practice, he talks from the beginning to the end.
So I don't know if there's if maybe this is a little different for you, having gotten to beat both in your first year. But what was more special, beating UF or beating Miami?
Miami.
Okay, is that because you're from down there? Kind of.
Yeah, it's closer to home, and then like, I feel like Miami's more of a rival, honestly. And then like, yeah, because it's closer to home, and then like I know way more players that play for Miami than I do at UF, so bragging rights too. You know, that's fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that obviously question comes up a lot, but I think with fans, you know, you can almost tell what era people started watching Florida State as a fan by which team they hate more. You know, like I started watching the late '90s, so it's Miami, right? I had to watch that 2001 team. Just you know, that was tough. And yeah, anyway, who's the bet? Well, I appreciate this question. Hopefully, we know it's a tie among everyone on the team, but if you had to pick one, who's the hardest worker on the team? Like, who's the one that's just pushing everybody, even when, you know, something sucks?
So last year, I gotta go back last year because it's two different teams. So last year and this year. Last year was greedy to me, and then like this year it's still greedy, but since Malik came in, like he's been like, you know what I'm saying, always on go, always ready to work. So it was be either between Greedy and Malik. Talk
about what that's been like for a second. You know, y'all have what, four guys came in from Bama. Obviously, a guy in your room, Malik, who we just got to talk with. What is that like having a guy who's seen another incredibly high level program, played for national championships, and coming into this program? Like what wisdom does he bring? What does he bring to the room?
Malik's not big headed at all. I mean, Malik's always willing to work. Like he does, no matter what, he's just always working. He's always working and learning new stuff.
Awesome, man. Did you grow up a Dolphins fan? And if not, who's your team in the NFL?
I mean, honestly, I don't have no favorite NFL team.
Sorry, Dolphins
I ain't gonna
fans.
lie.
It'll be the one you play for. Yeah.
It don't matter.
All right, man. I think that's all we got in questions. That's all I've got. We appreciate you coming by to our spring football kickoff.
Yes,
I will let you get out of here, man.
Yes,
Thanks a lot.
sir.
Hykeem Williams,
You.
folks, wide receiver, rising sophomore. And again, thanks for tuning in to our live spring football kickoff. We got Luke Kromenhoek, 5-star quarterback, true freshman, early enrollee, coming up next. Folks, again, I'm at the Battle's End. We allow you to directly support Florida State football players. Go to thebattlesend.com, become a member today, and fuel the climb. Luke, how we doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Let me move this over to you a little closer. Well, let me just start with this, man. You should still be in high school. You're in it's the second semester of your senior year, but you're early enrolled here. What's it been like? I hate to ask that broad, open of a question, but just walk us through what it's been like since you got here.
Yeah, to be completely honest with you, it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's a lot of stuff's getting thrown at you, and you kind of just have to take it. Each day it just keeps getting easier and easier. But in the locker room, I'm surrounded by a lot of great dudes who have kind of taken me under their wings and shown me the ways. And it's a great coaching staff, and they're always looking out for me, checking in on me. So, super thankful to have them.
Now, in high school, for those of y'all that don't know, Luke was a 5-star quarterback recruit, but he's a true freshman, went to Benedictine Military Academy in Savannah. Now, your first, 2 years, you were behind, I'm blanking on your starter's name.
Holden Gurner.
Holden Gurner went to Clemson, very talented quarterback, and you actually played safety. So, you're not just a quarterback, you're a great athlete, but you're no stranger to having to maybe learn for a little bit, but you found a way in those first 2 years to still have an impact on the team by going to safety. How does that carry over to college now? Like, even though you're the youngest guy in the room, how do you still have an impact? How do you find ways to help the team out, whether it's during practice or, I guess you haven't played games yet, but
yeah,
see where I'm going.
Definitely, yeah. I don't think Coach Norvell would let me play any safety while I'm waiting my turn. But, just coming to practice every day and being in the meeting room and also out on the field, just, bringing my A game and coming to compete every day, I think it will push the other quarterbacks, just bringing that competitive nature and going out there and competing with them and trying to push them to be their best, all while trying to do my best. I think it will bring a really good aspect to the quarterback room, and it will make everybody better.
What element of playing quarterback, at least one spring practice and a tour of duty, I realize, but so far, what element has been the most different from high school to college?
Learning the playbook. A lot of people say that the speed is a ton different and it's hard to adjust, but I played Georgia football at a high level, so the speed was pretty fast, but learning that playbook, especially Coach Norvell's, he's got a very complicated playbook, but I mean it shows up and it works out there. So that's definitely been one of the hardest things for me, is just learning the playbook and memorizing it, and just trying to learn all that, as well as bring it out to the field and do it correctly. That's probably been the hardest part for me.
What was how did that translate to yesterday as, again, your first official collegiate practice? You've, I'm sure, been studying the playbook since the minute you got here. How, once you were doing it live, though, like, did you know more than you thought you did? Was it maybe a little
Yeah, no, it was definitely, I knew a little bit more than I thought I did. When you're in that heat of the moment, it kind of just pops into the brain.
Yeah.
And you kind of get ready to go. But there were a couple of times where I messed up on a couple of things here and there, but it's all part of being young and learning, and the coaches they're working with me every day, so just getting better day by day.
Awesome, man. I got a few questions here. Again, folks, if you want to throw questions in the chat, please do, and Kev will put them on our fun laptop off to the side. I will read them. Luke will answer. Have you gotten the chance to speak with Ward, Winky, and/or Jameis Winston? And what about any interactions you've had with them stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Ward, you know, I attended the Orange Bowl with the team, and you know, it was really, really cool. Charlie Ward, I guess before every game, he texts the quarterbacks, and you know, it was really cool. He added me into that group chat, and I was able to read one of his texts, and he also texted me separately, just checking in on me, seeing how I was doing, which I thought was really, really cool. And then I've also been around Jameis at one of the practices on one of my visits. He was there, and I got to hear him speak to the team. And, you know, we had a little side conversation too. And he's an awesome dude, a great dude. And, you know, I was just super fortunate to be able to, you know, speak and get texts from those dudes who have had a ton of success here.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think every diehard fan smiles a little bit at those moments. You know, again, we all know Charlie Ward's a great individual, but hearing that he takes time to text the early enrollee who's at the Orange Bowl practice is really, really cool. As a freshman quarterback, how do you approach practice with an all new system and all new players?
Yeah, you know, I approach it with the same mindset that I approach everything. You know, I'm going to compete. I'm going to work. I'm trying to come out and, you know, put my best foot forward and kind of just go out there every day and compete. You know, I know as a freshman, there's going to be times where I'm going to make mistakes because I'm still young. But, you know, it's just being able to make those mistakes and not let it ruin the rest of my practice and kind of just overcome the adversity and, you know, just wash it and go to the next play and just, you know, get better.
So, yeah, I mean, I imagine you got to kind of have that balance, right, of like being able to reflect on mistakes but not dwell on mistakes, right? And
definitely.
Is that something that comes pretty naturally to you, or is that a skill you've had to develop throughout your career?
I think I've had to develop that throughout my career. You know, nobody likes getting yelled at. Nobody likes taking criticism. You know, who would,
right.
But, you know, as a quarterback, you know that stuff's going to happen. You know that, you know, things are going to go wrong. You're going to mess up a couple times. And, you know, you just have to be willing to, you know, take your tongue lashing and kind of just save it for later and figure out what you did wrong and just improve on it. And so that's kind of my mindset.
Yeah, man. In the vein of life advice that you never asked before, I had a mentor that always said, you know, realize most of the time people are yelling at the action, not the person, right? Like just accept that it's what you did, but they're not yelling at you as a human. And that's a good question. So how much did participating in the Orange Bowl practices help you out? And well, let me back up. How many practices were you able to participate in? What was your involvement in those practices? Were you able to throw in everything? Were you just there as an observer? What were you able to do?
So a little bit of both. I was able to participate in all the practices, but I just came off of my season where in the last game I had suffered an ankle injury, so I was still dealing with that. So still wasn't 100% out there, but you know, they were able to throw me in there in a couple times, and I was able to throw routes on air to some of those guys, and you know, kind of just get a feel and watch how a college practice works and how it operates, and just kind of see the speed of everything. So it was a great experience, and you know, it definitely helped me out.
Yeah, how much did that help? Kind of maybe let's talk about maybe your study when you're looking at the playbook for the past 2 months. Was it really helpful to at least have some concept of, okay, I know who's going to be this receiver on this play, and I've seen him run in person before?
Yeah, it helped a little bit, but you know, it's still a lot to take in.
Yeah,
and you know, they kind of throw it all at you at once. But you know, I've just been scheduling meetings with some of the coaches, getting in some extra quarterbacking time, and just learning the playbook as much as I can.
Since you were a safety, could you cover Hykeem?
I'll say yes, just because
he's not in here.
I feel like I can cover anybody. I'm an athlete. I'm a football player, so you know, I'm never gonna not say I can't do anything. But you know, it'd definitely be a pretty big challenge. He's a pretty big wide receiver, so yeah, I think he might rough me up a couple of times, but I definitely wouldn't be afraid to do it.
Hey, he played a lot of slot in high school, man. So if you're playing safety, that's you got to come down and get to him.
I'd probably stay pretty deep, not let him run by me.
I'm in a deep zone. Just what are your goals for 2024? Maybe broadly, but also it's 1 or 2 specific things of your game you really want to tune up this year.
Yeah, kind of in a broad sense, I want to make it hard for the coaches to figure out that depth chart and, kind of put people in their spots. I know I'm a freshman, but, I'm just coming out here to work every day. And my goal is to kind of make it challenging for the coaches to decide, who's first string, who's second string, who's third string. So that's kind of one of my main goals. But, just coming to practice every day, working, getting better, getting time in the classroom with the coaches and just being able to learn the playbook and, just becoming an overall better player.
And I know I kind of asked JARRIAN this, but just, for folks that have been enjoying it, I want to hear your perspective. I mean, what is that dynamic like? Because I saw it practice, like you, DJ, Brock, blanking on Jones's first name, and everyone involved. I mean, y'all are constantly talking to each other. You throw one and Brock's saying something to you. How do y'all sit there and know, okay, I'm trying to take your job from you. I'm trying to make the depth chart hard for the coaches to make, but still helping each other, right? You're almost helping each other get better every single rep. How does that balance get created so effectively?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure a lot of people are kind of like, it's got to be a little weird in there. You're trying to take this position from this guy. But no, we're a tight-knit quarterback room. Coach Tokarts preaches that. And, we got a lot of older guys in there and a lot of young guys. And, Coach Tokarts just wants us to help each other every time. And, I'm locker mates next to DJ, and, we talk a lot. And, they compliment me after any time I do something great, and they kind of help me out if I mess up. So everybody's kind of rooting for each other, but at the same time we're coming out there to compete against each other, and everybody wants to go be that number one quarterback. So but it's a good quarterback room, and we all we're a tight-knit family in there, and so we're definitely rooting for each other.
That's awesome, man. So what was the moment when it clicked? Sorry, folks, we are answering questions. Throw them in the chat. Some of your questions, not that they're bad. I have a slow, simple brain, and Luke is not slow and simple, so I'm trying to translate them for me, so I asked them clearly. What was the moment when it clicked from playing safety to quarterback? Like, I guess, how long did it take once you made – you played quarterback. Walk us through that. How much quarterback had you played? Then you played safety, and when did it really click as a full-time quarterback?
So, my freshman year – it was strictly you're the bottom dude. I was running down, fortunate to get on. One of the things that about me is I hate riding the bench. Can't do it. So any way I can to get out on that field and play is what I'm going to do. And so freshman year I was fortunate to make the kickoff team. So I was running down kicks, tackling people. And then going into my sophomore year, there were a couple injuries at the safety position, and we were also having some trouble at the wide receiver position with catching. So, they put me out there. They saw that I was a decent athlete, and they threw me out there, and it kind of just stuck. So my sophomore year, I started safety and wide receiver while taking the number 2 reps at quarterback behind Holden. And then going into my junior year, I was working I would go every Sunday down to Jacksonville and work with Denny Thompson down at 6 Points, Jacksonville. So me and my dad would make that trip every Sunday and just, kind of stay on top of the quarterback game. And then going into my junior year that summer, every day we were out there working with my receivers, getting the timing down. I was meeting with Coach DePhillips, who was my quarterback coach, just kind of learning the plays and learning the process. And really, to be honest with you, it kind of just clicked from the beginning.
Yeah.
We came out hot. We had a great year, and was fortunate to end up winning a state championship in my first year starting quarterback.
How many did you win in high school?
2. So I won one my sophomore year and one my junior year. And the other 2, we fell short in the Final Four both times.
So that was a maybe smooth, maybe not way of double checking it. When we say you played safety, and folks, I want you to envision your high school, right? Like you were a sophomore in high school starting at safety on a state championship football team I'm a little biased towards Georgia as well, living in Atlanta, but one of the top 4 or 5 most competitive football states in the country. So it wasn't like you just played a little safety until you were a heck of an athlete even on that team, which is really, really impressive. Has anything made you feel maybe a little overwhelmed since getting on campus? Maybe some football related, but anything maybe off the field as well, just adjusting to college?
Yeah, football wise, definitely that playbook. It's a lot of stuff thrown at you, and it's a lot of stuff to kind of retain. So, I'm definitely continuing to work at that. But off the field, I'm a home person. I'm a homebody. So, being away from mom and dad kind of stinks.
Yeah.
Not having those home cooked meals every night, that stings a little bit. But, FaceTime is a great invention. So that's kind of helping out a little bit. But I would definitely say that that's the hardest part, is being away from my family and as well as my friends. It kind of stinks a little bit. All your friends are back home.
Right.
They're still having their senior year, wrapping up. So seeing them doing all their things and I'm away, that kind of stinks sometimes too. But, in the end, it's worth it. And I'm excited to where I'm at.
Are there any like events like prom or anything that you're gonna be able to go back for this spring? 'Cause I know college ends a little earlier.
recently went back for prom.
Cool.
We had our school's prom, and then there was also the all girls school prom. So I was able to go to both of those,
Nice.
which was pretty fun. It was good to just be back home with my boys and go to prom. And
Were your friends jealous of the hair? Because I know
yeah.
Benedictine's a military school, so you had to do
Two
the
inches
haircut.
on the top, one on the side. So they were definitely they were pretty upset that I got to have my flow going. But it was all good.
So let's fast forward. When you're the starting quarterback at Florida State, this has weird tenses in it. What former Knoll would you love to throw a touchdown to in a championship game?
Former Knoll?
Yeah, so what former, receiver, tight end, whatever, would you most want to throw a championship touchdown to?
I feel like I'm gonna go with Mr. Fryer. I plan on throwing a couple touchdowns to his son going forward. So, to get two from the same family, I feel like that'd be pretty cool. So, to throw two touchdowns to Mr. Fryer as well as Camden, I feel like checking two boxes at once, that'd be pretty cool.
Awesome, man. We will note for those watching this matters for, he did say Mr. Fryer, not his wide receiver coach, who also is a former Knoll, or Nick O'Leary, who's also in that room. So just,
Yeah.
But I'm sure they would be a close second and third as well.
Definitely.
Who was your favorite professional athlete growing up?
Growing up, that's a rough one. Like college, NFL,
Professional. So just NFL, or were you a baseball guy? I know you talked
I'm a
about
big
baseball.
Baseball guy.
No.
I mean, a little bit.
Let's do
here and
NFL.
there.
Yeah, who's your favorite NFL player growing up, or anyone that jumped out to you?
I would say Christian McCaffrey. He's in the NFL now, so I'll say him. But watching him play at Stanford back in the day, I wanted to be like him. He was a white dude that was showing out in football. So definitely an idol that I looked up to. So I'd go with Christian McCaffrey.
Awesome, man. So obviously we are the Battles End, the NIL collective of Florida State football. I want to just kind of get your view on NIL. It's been around for 3 years. It's really ingrained in every aspect of college sports. It gives fans the opportunity to directly support y'all, but you came in a different era, right? If I talk to Mo or Darius or Richie or even Fitzgerald, it wasn't even a thought when they were coming out of high school. But how well prepared are y'all for this landscape? I mean, it's kind of all but just talk a little bit about what it's like to be sort of the first generation that went through almost all of high school with NIL being a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely exciting. I know that any player who's getting some NIL is, they're going to talk great about it. They're going to love it. But to be completely honest with you, I never really got into it. I was my main focus was let me go perform on the field. And I'll let my parents handle the NIL aspect of it. I kind of wanted to stay out of it. I feel like, it kind of puts you in a weird spot. You don't want to be asking for money. You don't want to be throwing around numbers. It's a weird position to be put in. So I kind of let the parents handle that while I kind of, stuck to the main thing, which was, becoming a better football player and kind of focusing on the field stuff.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, no, it's just interesting again to hear that perspective, and it's crazy to think. Again, it's been about 3 years. Although, folks, I don't know if anyone feels the same way. It's a little crazy when say professional athlete growing up and you say Christian McCaffrey. I'm like, I thought he was just at Stanford. It feels like. So, anyway, man, we really appreciate you coming by. Last question: when folks walk into that spring showcase, what can they expect to see from Luke Kromenhoek?
Yeah, hopefully they can expect to see someone who's out there balling. Been putting a lot of work in, and I'm going to continue to put a lot of work in, and throughout these practices that we have, and Hopefully, you know, I want to see it translate to the field, and I want the fans to see that, and I want them to kind of see that, you know, the future's bright, and we got a lot of great young athletes coming up, and I'm just excited to get to work.
Awesome, man. We'll let you get out of here. Thanks for stopping by for this spring football kickoff. And yeah, we appreciate you taking the questions,
Yes,
man.
sir.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
I'm going to do an outro, so I'll stay seated. But folks, we appreciate y'all stopping by, giving us your questions there in the chat, message boards, all the different ways y'all got them to us for our first Battles End live show. This was the spring football kickoff. We had a lot of great guests tonight. And again, if y'all want to directly support them through NIL, you can go to thebattlesend.com, get involved, and become a member of the best collective in the country. And again, the one that fuels the climb and directly supports Florida State athletes. Thanks a lot, folks. I'm Max Moody, and this has been the spring football kickoff for the Battles End.